Hi, this is Chris Henry, the Southern Gospel Gardener, and welcome to the very first episode of The Opening Act. Now, of course, as always, we're going to be talking about landscaping secrets and tips, and we're going to be talking about Southern Gospel music. Now, unlike my other videos, which are 15 to 20 minutes long, and we cover a whole host of things, we're going to be covering, in particular, Southern Gospel artists' very first albums, or maybe an album that I first purchased of a particular Southern Gospel artist. So that's what we're going to be doing on this series. In this series, in this episode, we're going to be talking about Greater Vision and their first album called On a Journey. So let's go take a look at what plant we're going to put in the ground today, and let's talk about Greater Vision's On a Journey. Let's dig a small hole right here for our little plant. It's called a hibiscus plant. Now, this is a particular hibiscus that's a little bit more frost tolerant than most hibiscus trees or bushes. Most are at 32 degrees, they're dead. This particular one can make it down to 20, 25 degrees. And so here in California in the Central Valley, we don't get that temperature very often. And so this hibiscus bush will survive. So we're going to dig this plant. Now, one of the funny things about On a Journey, the album title called On a Journey, was that it's named after a song that the first words are, "We are on a journey," and that's it. That's all there is. After that, you never hear that song again, and they titled the entire album after that. I always thought that was funny. But what I really liked about this album, had a lot of variety. It was so fresh and so new in the early 90s to have that trio sound. It kicked off with a song called "Oh Lord, I Need a Miracle," and don't we all?
I need a miracle, something new from you that no one else can do. Oh Lord, I need a miracle. Show your might and power, a miracle is found.
Now, the second song of this album was called "Share It with Jesus," and this was a song of hope. And a song of prayer, really. That, you know, when you're down to the bottom of the barrel and you just don't know what to do, it's real easy. Share it with Jesus, because He always listens. And what a great song of inspiration that was, even to me, back then when I was just in high school when I first heard this song.
He cannot.
One of the songs I loved on that album featured Gerald Wolfe, and this harkens back to the Happy Goodman days, and it's called "The Eyes of Jesus." Now, it wasn't a famous Goodman song, but let me tell you, it was a great song. Gerald does it justice, and here we have in front of us is a hibiscus. This is called a brilliant hibiscus. This is the one that's a little bit more frost tolerant I was telling you about. So we got the hole dug. What I want to do is throw this down in the hole. Looks like it's going to fit. It's got a little bit more of a lip, and that's because we're going to raise the soil level in this area so that it drains better, because if there's anything hibiscus don't like, it's wet feet. So we want to pull it up a little bit more so that it doesn't get too wet. So what I'm doing right now is putting some gardening soil right under the hibiscus. I want to position it just right. Then we're going to put some gardening soil around the hibiscus so it's got plenty of nutrients surrounding it, as well as a little bit of Formula 49 fertilizer. Now, one of the songs that, another song on the On a Journey album was an a cappella song, "I Sing the Mighty Power of God." Now, this particular arrangement was by the Couriers. Way back in the 60s, when the Couriers were traveling full time. And it just so happens that I heard Greater Vision doing this song at the Fan Fest in Fresno, California. And I was over by Greater Vision's table. They had just done "I Sing the Mighty Power of God," and it overwalks a film, and he comes over and says, "Hey, I recognize that version of that song." Of course, Gerald and he had a pretty good laugh about that. But I do love their a cappella version. This is back when they had Chris Allman, Mark Trammell, and Gerald Wolfe all singing really tight. This was the starting group, and really this is what set the bar for the group in future years to come.
I will glorify him, lift him up for the world to see. Follow his footsteps, listen to his voice. I will glorify the Lord.
Here we are. Here is the finished product. A brilliant hibiscus planted in the ground in a raised bed next to a palm tree and an African iris. Again, I can't overemphasize the fact that you need to find a hibiscus that can tolerate the freezing temperatures in your area. As this is a warmer climate here in California, this will be able to handle the 25 degrees that it says it's supposed to. But in your area, it may get down a little bit cooler. So what you want to do is keep this in a pot and take it inside during the winter. Otherwise, you'll lose it. It does add a great tropical accent to any landscape. Beautiful flowers. I highly recommend this hibiscus plant to anybody. And if you're looking for good Southern Gospel news, I recommend you going to FridayNightRevival.wordpress.com. And it's got some really good Southern Gospel stuff on it. It's a blog. I'm not sure who the writer is, but he seems to have a good grasp of everything that's Southern Gospel. And so I definitely like going to that website. I recommend it to you, and I like giving you tips about Southern Gospel music. So I hope you've liked talking about this hibiscus and Greater Vision's first album, On a Journey. Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of the Southern Gospel Gardeners opening act. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time.